Hey, exciting day today. Guess what we got? So, for the new year, we're gonna have new internet. We got our Starlink system. We're gonna have the new satellite internet from Elon Musk. And I've heard good reviews, so we'll check it out and we'll get it installed. Alright. Hey everyone. So, it's Mike, and I'm trying to shoot a video of unboxing this Starlink equipment. So I've already opened the box, but here it is. Like I said, I live out in the country, so for me, there's no internet option. There's no high-speed internet option. Cable TV is not even close to where I'm at, and they're never going to come to my neighborhood. Fiber is not close to my neighborhood. They're not going to come by. I don't expect to have a cabled fiber or cable TV or anything like that come to my house in my lifetime. So our option for internet out in rural areas is either, if you get a good cell phone signal, you can use a cell phone hotspot, which is what we use. But it tends to work mostly in the wintertime. During the spring and summer when leaves are on the trees, since I'm in the woods, it doesn't work so well. I mean, my signal drops 90% in the spring and summer when the leaves are on the trees. So it works fine in the wintertime, but really I don't have very good high-speed internet at the house. So our option really then becomes satellite. And if you've ever used any of the older type satellite internet services, and I have for years and years, they work really well. I will say that they are very stable. They work very well. The problem is the data limits. So you can't stream, you definitely can't stream TV, and you can't use very large amounts of data. The data limits are very low on the satellite systems that are out there. So the big thing was going to be Starlink. If you checked into Starlink, I signed up early, more than a year ago, for Starlink, and I just finally got it today. So the benefit is that they use a lot. They have a lot more satellites. They launched over 30,000 satellites or something like that. And it's low Earth orbit, so it works a little bit better. This dish, therefore, the dish is smaller. It's easier to track, and in fact, the dish here is automated. It will track the satellite signals as they move. So you'll see the dish moving. I've already had it plugged in, and it's really cool that it actually finds the satellite signal itself. But the data limits on Starlink are so high that it's not going to be a factor in my case. So I'm hoping this is going to work. Plus the speeds are supposed to be at least 2 to 3 times what I currently get max speed from my cell phone. So the crazy thing is, I unboxed this thing. The directions here are this sheet. I don't know if you can see them on the video. It's a very simplistic drawing of, take the dish, it has a cable attached to it, take this cable, attach it to this box, which is the inside box, and then plug this into the wall. This is it has a power cord. That's all that's in here, is the dish, the inside box, and the power cord. That's it, and this nice little drawing. There's nothing else in this box. Now, I did know that the installation instructions and everything else were with an app. They have an app that you download and you will install it from there. And the dish works wirelessly. There are no ports or anything on this box. So it's only wireless internet in your house, which is fine. I don't need anything that's not wireless. And if I need, I have a router that I can pick up the wireless signal and then plug stuff into it if I need to. So I just thought that was interesting, and I thought I'd point this out. So I'm going to go plug this all in, and then we're going to get the app going and see how the internet works. Hey everyone, so here's a quick update on the Starlink satellite dish. You can see it's just sitting here, but it's working really well so far. So I'm getting ready to mount it. I've got this pole here. This pole is just a leftover pole from one of the many dishes over the years that I've had, and I dug it up, moved it, stuck it here. The dish is best kept actually as far away from your house as you can. It has over 100 feet of cabling that came with it, but this is probably a really good area. Number one, it's next to this wall, so it's not going to get bumped. It's not in the way. So I'm going to plant some flowers around it so that, you know, people kind of stay away from the pole and everything. And I've cemented the pole back into the ground, and I'm getting ready. There is a cap that goes with this pole that I ordered, but it's going to take a couple of weeks to get here. In the meantime, you can take, and what happens is you take the stand off, and so you can take the stand off here, and then this slides into the cap that goes on the pole, and then it mounts and it looks nice, and it's, you know, mounted properly. For now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the stand off, and I've got a couple of extra pole clamps like this one, and I'm going to just clamp that thing to this pole, and that should work for at least a couple of weeks while I'm waiting for the other thing to come. Hey guys, this is Mike. Final update on the Starlink system. So check it out. I've got it mounted on the official cap for the pole, so it's officially mounted. A little bit of how this thing actually works, in case you didn't understand earlier. I don't know if I talked about it in my earlier videos. It's been so long. But this thing, it rotates all the way around, and it can move backwards and forwards. So theoretically, it should be able to cover the entire sky. So no matter where the satellites are, it's going to find one. It automatically tracks. So all you have to do is turn it on inside. And as soon as you plug it in inside, it turns on and it starts tracking satellites. So apparently it's finding a satellite over here right now. Earlier in the day, it was more this direction. And a lot of times I see it over in this direction. And I think only one time I've seen it back the other way. But I mean, it definitely tracks around and finds the satellites. So that's the good part about it. It's very simple to install, so anyone can install it. So that was a good thing as well. So yeah, been happy with it. Let's talk about it. It's been a month since we got it and installed it. So let's talk about how it's been working. In that month, I've had to reset the system one time, which is basically unplug it, plug it back in. So one time in a month I reset it. I can tell you for comparison, we used to use a cell phone hotspot, and I used to have to reset it almost every day, if not every other day, because it would just hang up, and then we wouldn't get any data. We couldn't get internet. So cell phone was unreliable. The Starlink system is totally reliable so far. And the one time I did have to reset it, I think there was a storm going on, as I remember. So, you know, I'm not too worried about that. Secondly, the data speeds. The speeds I'm getting with this are probably 10 times what I was getting with my cell phone hotspot. So very happy with that. We're getting data speeds, no problem. And just to remind you, I'm on a plan. I'm an early adopter plan. So it's kind of, they give me best effort connection and data. That's what they say. They are not guaranteeing me anything until after June of this year. But until then, I'm an early adopter, so they're allowing me to use it as a best effort plan, which, if this is their best effort, hell, I'm happy with that, because it's working really well. I can tell you data speeds are good. I'm able to stream TV now. We weren't really able to stream TV over the cell phone. Sometimes in winter it worked good enough that we could stream some channels, but this thing, we're streaming all kinds of TV and everything. In fact, I can stream TV in the living room. Kids are watching videos, YouTube videos on their tablets and stuff like that. So it works really well. And I don't have any real issues with that. As for data limits, I used to have the old satellite systems that would have like a 20 or 40 gigabyte data limit. And once you hit that limit, they would basically shut you off. That happened to me all the time. I'd hit the limit and they would say, oh, we just slowed you down. Yeah, you slowed me down to 0. So Starlink, that doesn't happen. You don't get shut off. The data limit is 1,000 gigabytes. They just enacted that. They used to have no data limit, but as they've gotten more people on board, they've enacted a data limit, and it's currently 1,000 gigabytes. So that's plenty because, like I said, we've been streaming TV and videos and everything else, and I've used in a little over half of the billing period. I've only used about 180 gigabytes. So probably somewhere between the 300 and 400 gigabyte area is the kind of data we'll be using on a regular basis, and that's less than half of our limit, so that should be fine. But with Starlink, if you go over your limit, they give you the option to just buy more data. So if you go over 1,000 gigabytes, you can buy, I think it's $1 for every 10 gigabytes after that. So if you need more data, you can just buy more, which is the complaint I had with the other satellite systems. Just charge me more and let me use my internet. And Starlink gets that. I mean, if you're going to go over that much data, they're going to charge you for it, and you should be happy with that. I mean, that's how things work. But yeah, no issues. Love the system. So if that's your option, is cellular or satellite, and that's it, Starlink is where it's at. They pretty much cover most of the United States now. Here in Virginia, for some reason, we're like the last area. They won't be fully covering all of Virginia until, like I said, sometime in June or July of this year. So it may be still difficult to get it in this area, but if you're in other parts of the country, you can already get Starlink. All right, so if you like my videos, be sure to subscribe, be sure to tell your friends, and come and see me again next week.